What's up, everybody? This is Ryan coming to you on August the 8th. I apologize for not getting this up, not doing this full review sooner, because I know I did a quick review of UCAD at the end of the week, a week and a half ago, um, giving you my thoughts on it. So I do want to go through this full markup to show you um, what USDCAD has done since the last video that I made. So what I'm going to do is walk through how I go through my markups every day, um, and how I got to the understanding that I did and what UCAD has done since then. But before I get into it, I want to let you guys know that um, I am a part of a uh, Facebook mastermind, a trading mastermind on Facebook. It is free. I will add the link in the chat. We have good conversation there. We post some good videos, tutorials on how we go through our markups, what we're looking for, and some good insight on, we use Elliott waves and Fibonacci. So some good insight on how we use it um, in different on different time frames with different markups. So I'll add that link in the chat. Um, Also, if you find any value in this video, like and subscribe and share. I definitely appreciate all of the love that I can get. Um, as we go forward too, I will be doing some additional videos, not on trading specifically, but more on mindset and growth and personal development, because I do believe that mindset is a huge piece to this trading game that we all have to master. So look out for those videos coming soon. But I'll go ahead and get into this markup. So what I do is generally I start on the weekly time frame and literally just marking up my support and resistance zones. And what I've done is I've color coded everything so that it's clear for me to be able to follow um, and be able to see as I'm looking through the different time frames. So we'll get started. So this area of support here. And like I said, I have it marked out and templates made, so I don't have to go back in and retype. So it makes it easy. So that's weekly support there, and I have a couple areas here that I do want to watch. So I'm going to mark this one as kind of a longer term resistance, but going to mark it as weekly resistance. And then I am going to mark this area here. No, I'll come up here. And if you look left, you'll see this zone here. From here to here is a zone, and even down a little below it is a zone all the way to the left. Right, so we want to watch this area as a time frame that'll be important to us going forward. So move this up here, make this a weekly resistance as well. And we'll drop down to the daily time frame, and you'll see there's some confluence here, right? Multiple time frames, we have similar areas to watch. So that weekly support is also going to be my daily support. I'm going to get this area here as a daily resistance. And this is a zone too, right? So from here to here, this resistance zone. So we'll watch that. What I'll do is I'll move this up here. And what you can do too is you can create templates with rectangles. So those would be your zones. I don't do that. I may do that in the future, but just understanding that this is a zone, not a specific point. All right. And we will drop down to the 4 hour. All right, and on the 4 hour here, right, you see the same confluence here with the daily resistance there, but we also have another zone. This is actually creating a resistance area here. So again, this zone here is a resistance zone 4. So price definitely bounced off of that. That's our 4 hour. And we'll take another, we'll take this area here, right? If you look left, you see this zone here is a nice area for us to watch. Okay, it's a 4 hour support. We'll also mark this lower area too as an area to watch. 4 hour support also, because if we look left, a little further out, but you see we have some confluence there with this zone. So, alright, so we'll keep an eye on that area as well if price comes back to retest any of these zones. Alright, and then we'll drop down to the 1 hour. Right, and again, some similar confluence areas, right? This area here, but we will get our support area right here. And again, looking left, you see we got confluence here. So 1 hour support. And we'll take this here as a 1 hour resistance. Again, looking left. 1 hour resistance. Alright, so again, looking left here, right? Support resistance. Price kind of moves sideways in these areas. Stalls out. Right? Resistance here, support here. So, alright, so now that we have our support and resistance zones marked out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the daily time frame. I'm going to do a couple things here, right? So, the first thing I'm going to do is start marking out my trend lines. Where's my ray? Alright, just coming from top to bottom, right? Getting the first touch to the trend line. I'm using the trend line as a tabletop, right? So as soon as you get to the first touch of that trend line, dropping it there. Okay. So that'll be our first one. And then what I'm going to do too, so we use the Fibonacci. The Fibonacci is essentially a math sequence based on the amount of a pullback or a retracement that a particular move gives, tells us how far on the extension it will go. And when we're looking at Elliott waves, we're either in an extension or a retracement, right? So we want to look at this from that perspective as well, and we'll draw that for kind of a end destination on the daily time frame. And then we can play with the Elliott waves as we make our entries and exits on the lower time frame. So we'll go from the swing low to the swing high. And again, if you remember from our previous videos, swing low is you have a low point, then you have 2 candles to the left that are higher and 2 candles to the right that are higher. That 5 candle sequence signifies a swing, whether it's a swing low or a swing high. So this is our swing low, and then this is our swing high. So we have, these are kind of equal points here. So 2 candles to the left and 2 candles to the right that are lower. So that gives us our swing high. And if we see, I have to zoom in a little bit, but this gives us, we have everything color coded, right? So on these pullbacks, if you get anything in this red zone here, 38.2, 50, 61.8, all of those pullbacks will take you to the 618 area or destination, right? So red to red, then you have green. So green is your 78.6 pullback, 78% of the original move the market took back. So that 78.6 area will take you to the 0.18 extension, right? So extension, pullback, and this is going to be the next extension, right? So, and then the blue area, we have 2 blue areas. We have your 88.6 and your 23.6, right? These 2 blue areas will go to your 0.27 extensions. Um, it's highly likely, and then there's some things that happen after that in your wave 4 and 5, right? So we have our wave 1 creates our A to B boundary. This is our A, the bottom. This is our B, the first high. So wave 1 creates our A to B boundary. B to C is created here. So this is our B and this is our C. All right, so B boundary to C boundary. And as long as this C boundary does not take out the A, this is going to move in our favor. So if it doesn't take out the A, it's going to go our way, right? So got this pullback here, and you see the nice flag that's being created here. So we have just below a 78.6, 78% pullback here, right? And we got a shift, right? So again, if we're looking at swing lows, right? So we have 2 candles to the left that are higher, and then we have, with the close of this daily candle here on Friday, we have 2 candles to the right that are higher, right? So that gives us a full swing that tells us that price is changing direction. Place that back. We'll lock it. All right, and so I'll drop down to the 4-hour time frame, and here we will continue with our trend lines. And so how we do this is, so we have our daily trend line here, which gives us a kind of a long-term trend line to watch and follow. But we also draw, this is considered an outer trend line. So we also draw inner trend lines as well. So how we do that is we take it from the last wick that touched the previous trend line, and that's our starting point. And then we run that down to, again, the first touch, right? So what we'll see here is price tried to break through this, but it didn't quite do it, right? So that's our first touch here. And as we drop down to the 4-hour time frame, we'll get some more insight on what that looks like. We'll drop down to the 1-hour time frame, sorry. But that's our second trend line there. And then we'll drop down to the 1 hour to draw our inner trend line, just so we can see where price broke and the possibilities of a retest. So again, we start at the last touch, which is right here, and we'll come down. And what you'll see is, so what we have here, so that last video that I made, we were in this area here, and I said we'll look for a move down, and then we'll start to see a move up with a long-term projection, price moving higher. And we're in profit here, and then price pulled back down to our weekly support, if you see that here. So we had our trend line here, and we see we had price break this trend line, which is what we want to happen. And then what you'll see is right here we had price pull back and retest this trend line. So this is our confirmation that price is about to really take off, right? We can go back and look at this on the 4-hour time frame, and you'll see kind of that confluence, right? So if we look at it from a 4-hour perspective, right? Price, that's our good trend line off the tip. Price broke through and then came back and retested that trend line in confluence with that 4-hour support area, right? So points of confirmation that price is definitely moving up, changing into a bullish, possible bullish trend, right? So what we're looking for now, right? So we drew out our fib that gave us this is our 78.6 area on the daily, our daily 78.6. So price pulled back below that and started to move up. So what we can do from here is we can draw out fibs on the lower time frame to give us an understanding of where price is going and what may be a possible entry for us going into next week. So we'll start at the swing low again, and we'll draw it to the first swing high, which is right here, right? And so what you can see is, right, price pulled back to 78.6, and momentum really took this out. But what you'll see, so 78.6, Then it moved up to, this is another area of 1.127, 1.18. So you had price came here installed, right, in this area first, and then gave us a pullback. And we can check this to see. All right, so if we A to B, B to C, and then looking here, C to D, and price really pushed, right? Momentum took it way out, right? So if we take that as our D, right? You hit our D extension. Now the C becomes our new A. C becomes our new A, so A to B. Now we have this pullback that happened here, and you see it came back to a 61.8 area, right? So 61.8, red to red, right? So 61.8 here, and price takes off, right? Flew through everything, hit 61.8, came down, and then took off again, right? So this first touch here, all right, because this was our 61.8, our D extension, right? Right here at this wick. I'll draw that so you can follow where I am, right? Price gave us a nice touch right here on the 61.8 D extension. So what we'll do again, right? So the C becomes the new A, right? So our C becomes our new A. C becomes our new A. And our D becomes our new B. Right here, right? So what you'll see, have price come back and give us a 38.2, 38% retracement just below. Somewhat shallow, but still broke the 23.6 area, and then it started to take off. And this is Friday, so random things happen on Friday, and it stalled in this 0.27, 0.18 area, and we're getting a slight pullback here for our final push up to this extension. So what I'm going to look for next week on this pair, because again, I'm definitely bullish on the pair. What I'm going to look for is for price to possibly retrace back to rectangle here. Look for price to retrace back to this zone here. And a couple reasons for that, right? A lot of times in the market, when you have these strong engulfing candles, a lot of times what you'll see is price will come back and push back down to this zone to kind of fill these orders here. So what they say is these bullish candles, when you have a bullish candle that completely takes over the previous candle and there's a wick on that previous candle, what they say is the market makers have some missed orders in that zone. And so what can happen in these areas is price can push all the way back to fill that whole candle, to make sure that for the folks that missed their orders in this space, they have the opportunity to get that order at the lowest price, right? So this is something that I'll talk about more in the future, but kind of market manipulation, right? The folks that really run the markets, they want to make sure that they're able to get their orders in at the best price possible. So, and if you see, as we go back, right, all of these have been covered. All these bullish candles with wicks, price came back to that point, right, cleared all of those. With a wick, price came back, cleared that whole candle, right? And even here, we had a wick, price came back, cleared it. So I'm going to look for price to come back and clear this zone early next week. So I'm going to look for something like this. Something like this. And then for price to, to continue up. Right? Maybe something like this. And I'll publish this this idea in TradingView. If any of you are on TradingView and you want to follow it, something to this effect is what I'm gonna look to see. and we'll be able to follow the ABCD waves all the way through, right? So AB, this is our C, and then in between, if we drop down to the 15-minute, you'll see A to B, B to C, and this will be your whole D move here. And then again, C becomes a new A, so A, B, C, and a push up to the D extension, right? And this could go a little higher depending on what that total pullback ends up being. So this is what I'm anticipating on USDCAD. Again, we have momentum that shifted. There is a possibility, depending on some of the fundamental analysis, when you're looking at the stimulus package and things that the government is looking to do, there is a possibility for price to make another U-turn, right? So we could see this action, and then we could see price come all the way back down to here, to this 4-hour support area, this 1 hour, 4-hour support area, this zone, and then make its move up. And that'll give us kind of a head and shoulders pattern for you harmonic pattern folks, right? You have this here, and if we get this push, right, this will give us our neckline, and then we'll get a move back down to complete our right shoulder and get some consolidation, and then the move up to complete this full move, which first glance could get us to the 1.3608 area, but we have some time before that happens. So this is my analysis on USDCAD. Again, if you find value in the process, definitely like, subscribe to the channel, share the video. If you have any questions, definitely drop them in the chat and I will get you some responses. But this is a process that I go through with every pair. Generally we do a Saturday ritual. This week we had some scheduling conflicts, so I had to cancel, but every Saturday we meet from 9 a.m. to 12 noon Eastern time, and we go through 10, 15, and if we can 20 pairs that we will mark up so that we can so we have our full preparation for the upcoming week, and we know what pairs are in a position to really make some strong moves with the highest risk to reward ratio, and we break those down. Excuse me. And so that's what we do. So like, subscribe. I'll have the link to our Facebook mastermind in the description as well, and I'll have the link to the published idea for TradingView so that we can follow what actually happens with this markup. So I appreciate you guys' time. Definitely look out for the future videos on mindset, mindset in trading, and mindset for personal development, which they go hand in hand. And also look out for future markups. So thanks, guys, and we'll talk soon.